Good evening. My name's Anthony Gerasi, last name Geraci. I'm the chief of police here in the city of Newburgh. At 9:35 p.m. tonight, as a football game between Warwick High School and Newburgh Free Academy was ending, officers were on scene. There was approximately 2,000 spectators here, and a fight broke out in the north parking lot. As soon as the fight broke out, there was 5 shots fired. At least officers heard the shots fired, responded immediately to the scene, located 3 gunshot victims. One was a 43-year-old female who was shot in the foot, 19-year-old female who was shot in the thigh, and a 21-year-old male who was shot in the ankle. Like I said, none of those injuries are life-threatening. Our officers did render aid, applying a tourniquet to one of the victims and transporting 2 of those victims to the hospital in their police cars. At this time, the only other information I want to provide, it is a very active investigation. As you can see behind me, this is just a few of the people are here with us assisting. Between law enforcement, emergency management, and EMS, we have 17 agencies on scene here assisting us with this very active investigation. There's too many to name, and I don't want to leave anyone out. At this point, we will take questions, but I want to turn over to Ed Forget of the Newburgh Free Academy. He's the deputy superintendent.
Thank you. Just want to make sure that everyone involved this evening is safe. The district takes these things very seriously. Our number one priority is safety. Safety protocols were in place this evening. We will be investigating all of the activities that took place to ensure that the protocols were followed, and we will be providing additional information tomorrow. Our senior team will be meeting. We will be providing safety teams and crisis intervention teams for all people that were involved this evening. Thank you.
Any arrests made?
I'll come back.
Wait a minute, sir. Can you state and spell your name?
Sure. Ed Forget, F-O-R-G-I-T, Deputy Superintendent for the Newburgh School District.
And can you also talk a little bit about the injuries of the victims?
Yes, I'll come back.
Oh.
No, you're good? Okay. All right, so I'm sorry, your question was
Well,
if there's an arrest made.
yeah.
So no arrest made right now. There's no suspect's description that we're willing to put out or have the ability to put out at this point. Like I said, it's a very active investigation. Over 2,000 spectators here leaving during this chaotic scene. As far as the injuries, non-life-threatening. They're all being treated at a local hospital, and that's as much as I can report on their injuries.
I know there have been a number of shootings and most recently. Can you just touch a little bit upon that?
So there was in fact a shooting last night where 2 people were shot. One was a homicide, and one of the victims was a 5-year-old, as it's been reported in the media and in our press release this morning. So those are the 2 incidents that occurred, one last evening and one this evening, with a total of 5 victims shot.
So, do you know, again, no arrests, no suspects in custody?
There is no suspects in custody, no arrest in regards to this incident tonight.
Do you have any suspects you're looking for that you know of?
Like I said, it's a very active investigation. We have 17 agencies on scene, over 100 personnel. A lot of information is coming in, a lot of video evidence, a lot of witnesses and eyewitnesses are being interviewed. So it's a very active investigation.
Any weapons recovered?
At this point, evidence is being recovered, and like I said, it's an ongoing investigation. I can't exactly say what's being recovered.
You know how many shots were fired?
We know at least 5 shots were fired.
When this was in the middle of the football game?
The football game was over, so this happened at 9:35. Spectators were leaving, and we're on the south side of the school, so the shooting happened on the north side in the parking lot.
Are there any surveillance cameras?
There are surveillance cameras.
Negative results after responding
Were
217.
they working?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Attempt to locate.
And when you described that it was on the other
In the
side,
report
can
room
you
with
explain it
Officer
for
Rivera.
us and people who can't see over there? I mean, is it a parking lot? What type of area is that?
Yeah, I'll defer to the school district because they know their footprint better than I do, and they can discuss any question that you may have about the attendance and the footprint here. Is there any other questions?
What led to the fight?
We don't know what led to the fight, but there was a dispute in the parking lot that occurred after the game. 5 shots were fired. Officers heard the shots being fired and responded right away.
And are the injured, were they the intended targets?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Have any of the victims that have been transported to the hospital, have they identified anybody at this time? Or
So they're being treated. Obviously, we are going to talk to the victims, but I don't have that information right
You
now.
know the nature of injuries again?
Yes. So it was a 43-year-old female who was shot in the foot, a 19-year-old female who was shot in the thigh, a 21-year-old male who was shot in the ankle. All non-life-threatening injuries.
What did witnesses tell you?
Like I said, we're pouring through video evidence, cell phone footage, eyewitness accounts, and obviously the victims who are at the hospital. So there's a lot of information coming in, but there's no danger to the public, to this neighborhood or the greater area of Newburgh. We feel like this was an isolated incident, and there were people being targeted in that group. I can't say that the victims who were shot were those being targeted.
Is it gang related?
I can't say that at this point.
So do you think there's multiple suspects? You said 5 shots in total.
Shots, yes, 5 shots fired.
So is there one or more suspects that you're looking for?
So that information, we're still pouring through the evidence and speaking with eyewitnesses. So I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you that there's only one shooter.
Any guns recovered at the scene?
So that question was asked, and I answered to the best of my ability that there is evidence being recovered. At this point, I'm not willing or able to detail exactly the catalog of evidence that we recovered. So I'll turn over to Mr. Forget.
Say your name and spell it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony Geraci, Geraci.
So I had asked about the area where the shooting took place. Could you describe it for?
It's a macadam back parking lot. It's basically it's a parking lot area where we have a few different classrooms out in the back.
So would it be a parking lot that people in attendance of the football game would park in, or would that be closed off during the game?
I would have to research that.
Yeah, just to know, like, is it an isolated area?
It's the back passageway from the field to parking lots. There's a parking area that's there, but I don't believe that people park there for the games. We're still in the process of investigating and researching all this.
And around the time that the shooting took place, you said it was like around 9:35, I believe?
Yes.
So at that point, the game's over, but how crowded is the area still? I mean, had a lot of people already dispersed, or was it still, were people actually still exiting the field and the parking lot?
I can't answer that
I
at this
wasn't
time.
on scene. I'd be speculating.
Do you know what time the game ended?
10 minutes. I was told 10 minutes prior to that, to the shots fired. So
Oh,
the
okay.
shots fired at 9:35. I was told approximately 10 minutes prior to the shots being fired.
How many?
Just one other question. I'm sorry. Is there any sort of security to get into a football game? I mean, can anybody just go in?
No, we have security presence at all of our games. We have staffed security, as well as we work with local law enforcement to also provide support.
But that process to get in the game is just
Normal process to get in the game. We wand, metal detector wanding. Students have to pre-purchase tickets in order to come in and meet specific criteria.
All right. Is there any other questions? I just want to say one final comment. You mentioned that there's incidents of gun violence here in the city of Newburgh. It's unacceptable. Everyone that you see standing behind me in our community, we're fed up with the gun violence in this community. The trauma that's being inflicted upon our youth in this community has to stop, and it has to stop with all of us as one community. Thank you.